Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our pre-match coverage of what promises to be a fascinating contest between Punjab Kings and Gujarat Titans. Now, two teams, two very different identities, but there is something common between these two teams today. And the common factor is captains with a point to prove. Shubman Gill and Shreyas Iyer have both been on the fringes of India's T20 conversations despite some strong IPL numbers, and it seems like this season will be make or break for both these captains. Joining me for this show is Sneha Shish Mukherjee, Mohor Chaudhary, and Bharat Ramraj. And I'll start off with you, Bharat. Let's start with the captains. We have discussed this in detail in our 5 at 5 show, but if I were to ask you who has more to prove this season, Shubman Gill or Shreyas Iyer, what would be your answer?
Oh, that's difficult to answer. Perhaps it is Shubman Gill because he has been dropped from the T20I setup recently. So that is something that you have to consider. Second is people are talking about his strike rate. That his strike rate is around 150, 160. And some of the best top order batters going around in the cricketing landscape are striking at 190, 200, even 190, 200 in T20I cricket, especially on flat pitches. So considering that, maybe it is Shubman Gill who has little more to prove. Yes, Shai Sayer as well. He has been out of the T20I setup for a while, so he would want to make a comeback as well. And perhaps he has a slightly better chance as well of the two because the competition for places as far as middle order slots are concerned. You look at someone like Surya Kumar Yadav, is around 36, and perhaps he has a wrist problem, so he's struggling a little bit to hit on the up and through the line or mid-off region. So maybe Surya Kumar Yadav is struggling a bit in that sense. Shai Cyrus has slightly better chance. But if you look at both, I think Shubman Gill has more to prove. Another point you have to consider is look at the fierce competition for top order slots. There's Suryavanshi as well. There's Yashasvi Jaiswal as well. At some point, Ishan Kishan could also open the batting if needed. So, considering all those points, I think Shubman Gill has more to prove here because he needs to put on a really, really good performance throughout the season. Maybe even score 600, 700 runs at a strike rate of 170, 180 to be in contention to get back into the T20I setup.
Snehashish, when you look at Gujarat Titans, they look like a very well balanced side. They look like they have a lot of stability. But again, the point here is, are they explosive enough? Against a team like Punjab Kings, who has a Prab Simran Singh, a Priyansh Arya, and the others as well, do you think the top order, which GT is very top order dependent with Sai Sudarshan, Jos Butler, and Shubman Gill, do you think the explosiveness matches here?
Not really. Again, I completely agree with that. Top order heavy defendant part. Obviously, for GT also, for GT this season also, I think those three players at the top will be key again. Shubman Gill, Shai Sudarshan, the opening pair, and obviously George Butler at number three. Though the current form of George Butler, I think that is a worrying sign as of now because whatever we have seen in the recently concluded T20 World Cup also, Josh Butler is out of touch completely. So now GT fans will hope that the management will hope that Josh Butler regain his form and showcase what he can do because we have seen what he can do in last two IPL seasons consecutively. So I think that is one worrying sign. I think, but I think that is also a part that is dependent on Gill's form because when you see the opening pair of both Gill and Sudarshan, I think they play more fearlessly when they know there is an informed Josh Butler waiting at number three. If Josh Butler doesn't click in one or two games, then you might see the change of approach in those two batters also. Then one of them might think, okay, one of us might continue till 15 or 16 overs to set that platform for the upcoming batters. So I think Josh Butler form is very much needed for GT as of now, if you ask me, because if he gets into form, then those opening players, the opening batters will get into their group quickly, and that can set the platform for GT. Otherwise, if you ask me, I think the all-rounder part is quite a bit dicey. They are quite a bit inconsistent compared to PBKS. If you see the all-rounder quality that Punjab have, Omar Zai, Stoinis, Marco Janssen. I think they are fantastic. If you ask me, I think GT have now Dasun Sanaka. I think as a replacement they have managed to get. I think Dasun Sanaka might get into the playing 11. So let's see how he does if he gets in chance. But overall, I think again for this season also those three players at the top will be heavy dependent, in terms of form of GT.
There's a comment here by Maxert official M exert. I don't know. We'll never know. But he or she is saying Gill should not be in T20 setup for the rest of his career now. Mohor, what do you think about this? A little too harsh? Do you think there's at this point any chance that Gill can make it back?
Yeah, I mean, I do understand where he's coming from, Max Cert official, but I don't think that's the correct choice of words. Uh, okay, if you have to talk about Gill, then I mean, the IPL will be the perfect opportunity for him to regain his mojo, because it was not just about the strike rate, it was also about the form that he was in. I think for whatever reason, probably because of the exhaustion, playing continuously, he was not in very good form. He didn't really look comfortable at the crease. So that is something that he needs to get the hang of. And again, I think it'll be difficult, yes, to make an entry, re-entry to the T20 international squad, given the number of the talents that are already playing, and also the talents that are waiting. You also have Vaibhav Suryavanshi rising now, so it will be difficult. But in order to make an re-entry into the squad, I think he will have to, of course, up his strike rate, and also at the same time he'll have to maintain his consistency, which is again very important. I don't think he will personally want to purposely willingly fire and flip his game upside down at this point, because especially in the IPL, because that is not the template that Gujarat Titans follow. And also I don't think that is going to it might affect his natural game as well. But I don't think people expect him to play at a strike rate of above 200. But in order to make an re-entry into the squad, I think he has to up his strike rate a little bit. Otherwise, there's a lot of competition. But I mean, rest of his career now, that's, I think, too early to jump the gun and decide.
Okay, let me get this comment out of the way. All right. On the flip side, Snehashish, when you talk about Punjab Kings who rely heavily on explosive starts, we've seen that happen with SRH, that sometimes it's not the best strategy if you're going gung-ho every single time. Do you think that's a sustainable model that you've seen from Punjab Kings in the last season?
Yes, I think for me the best thing that Punjab has, I think the Indian batting core. If you see the top five names, Prabh Simran Singh, Priyan Sharia, the top order, explosive, two openers. Then obviously at number three, I think Josh Inglis played majority of the part last season. This time he is not there. I want someone like Cooper Connolly to get a chance and play at that role at number three, and then you have someone like Shreya Shah at number four, explosive batter, and followed by whom Shashank Singh. The way he has batted in last two seasons, the finishes that he managed to give, Punjab in consecutive matches, I think he has been superb. Nehal Badera, another left-handed talent, all-round brilliance, a superb fielder also. I think these five players have been superb. And if I am not wrong, in the last season, all these five players crossed 450 or 500 run mark, every one of them. So I think that has been the main success mantra for Punjab in the last season. And again, all these five players will be key in this season also. And then followed by then you have three quality, all-rounders, three overseas quality all-rounders. Someone like Marcus Stoinis, as I mentioned earlier, also Marco Janssen, and up to Omar Zai also, if you manage to play him. So I think superb squad. Again, I think they are one of the favorites to obviously qualify for the playoffs, and obviously as a final contender also. So I am pretty confident that Punjab will do well. So let's see how they start. But for me, I think the best strength is to having that Indian batting coach, those top five explosive batters, and they have been super.
All right. Bharat, the opening battle I think could define this game tonight. Gill and Sai Sudarshan versus Prabh Simran and Priyan Charya. Who do you think has the edge tonight?
Oh, they have completely different templates, so it's difficult to say who has the edge. Maybe it's Punjab Kings. If it turns out to be a flat pitch, maybe it is Punjab Kings. But I've seen at that stadium there will be a little bit. Usually, there's a little bit of sea moment up front. If that comes into the equation, maybe Gujarat Titans template will work slightly better. See, Gujarat Titans have a set template. They will try to lay out a set platform, maybe uh, how many runs, 60, 65 runs in the first 6 overs, then try to ramp it up from there. That is how they usually go about the things. Although it will be interesting to see how Shubman Gill will bat this season around, especially considering the kind of template that India are following. So if he has to return to the T20I setup, maybe just change his template a little bit. But they follow both of them follow different templates. I might give Punjab Kings a slight edge in the sense that they follow kind of a modern day T20 template. But having said that, Gujarat Titans understand what exactly works for them, because if their middle order is not so good. Although I understand that they have tried to buffer it up by adding Jason Holder somewhere. Perhaps he will come into bat lower down the order, but still that middle order has some problems. So I understand why Gujarat Titans go about their business in such a manner.
Mohor, if I ask you what matchups you're looking forward to, do you even believe in matchups when it comes to the IPL? Because I think this is a very good contest that we're going to see tonight. Hopefully, nothing like what we saw last night. CSK getting rolled over by Rajasthan Royals, not the start that any of us would have expected to happen.
Yes, Gargidi. When it comes to the IPL or limited overs cricket, I don't really believe in matchups because you never know when the course of the match turns in which way. But yes, I am looking forward to certain matchups. I think I am excited to see Mohammad Siraj versus Shreyas Iyer, given that the short ball thing can be his weakness at times. So I think it will be exciting to see how he deals with the short ball issue. What else? Other than that, I think overall, I really don't believe in matchups as such, but I'll be really excited to see certain key players. For example, Rashid Khan, because he has been one of the greatest in this format, but over the last few years, he's not been able to fire with the ball as such. So I think I'll be excited to see Rashid Khan. I'll be excited to see Joss Butler if he's able to regain his mojo. These things are. I'll be looking forward to it. And when it comes to this game, I don't see a one-sided match happening at all, because I think both the squads are very strong. Both the squads have their own strengths and weaknesses, but that's different. But both the squads have their own strengths. They both follow different templates, and one of them, is focused on power hitting, and the current template, and the other one is more focused on consistency. So it is going to be a different kind of a clash, and I don't think it's going to be one-sided. And both the captains have a point to prove, so that will be all the more interesting.
And I just had one small point on it. See, Ashish Nehra, I believe, has a fascination for tall hit the deck fast bowlers. If you just look at their squad roster, they have one 6 feet 3 inch bowler, Rabada, they have one 6 feet 2 inch bowler, Prasidh Krishna. Even if you look at some of their players who are supposed to sit on the bench, for example, Ashok Sharma and the tall fast bowler. So it will be interesting to see how Gujarat Titans' tall pace attack go up against Shreyas Iyer. That is one of them. I think the second one is perhaps Imran Singh, perhaps versus Prasidh, because he has troubled perhaps Simran Singh in the past a little bit with a short ball, and the other one I think is Butler versus Arshdeep Singh. Honestly, Arshdeep Singh, if you look at how he bowls with that in swinger, he should trouble a batter like Jose Butler because of his backward trigger. But for some reason, Arshdeep Singh has dismissed Jose Butler only once in his career. So that is something that surprises me. So that will be very interesting, I think, battle between the two.
I was going to ask you about the bowlers. When you see Gujarat Titans, you've got a Rashid Khan, and Rashid Khan versus Punjab's middle order. Are you seeing that as a matchup in this game, Bharat?
Yeah. Just your voice, I think, got slightly cut there. Maybe it's my internet problem. Anyway, Rashid
Rashid
Khan,
Khan,
yes, I think, yeah,
Punjab's
I got it. Yeah, Rashid Khan, see, he has had problems with his form. That is something that, first of all, we have to consider. Even in the last year's IPL, he kind of struggled in the T20 World Cup. It seemed as if the batters were again picking him. So that is, I think, that would be his main concern. But if he comes good with his different types of googlies, then yes, he can trouble PBKS setup. First of all, it would be about again Shreyas Iyer versus Rashid Khan, because in the past. I'm not saying it's a problem against Googly, but in the past, we have seen on occasions those spinners who have a good Googly have troubled him, opened up a gap between his bat and pads. So that will be interesting to see. Shreyas Iyer versus a short ball from Gujarat Titans' tall fast bowlers, and also versus someone like Rashid Khan and his Googly.
All right, Snehashish, Shreyas Iyer's strike rate last season was among the best. Do you think he's evolved into the kind of T20 batter that everyone has overlooked at this point? We've spoken about this before, but now focusing on just his batting, what are your thoughts?
Yes, I think as I mentioned in the earlier show also at 5, that I think he is one of the best spin player that we have now, spin batter who bats so well against spin. I think the way he picks, the line and length quickly of spinners and try to hit them straight down the ground, I think it's fantastic. And I think that is why we see that that improvement in his strike rate. I think he plays spinner superbly with more attacking approach than a pacer. And if you ask me, I think the bouncer, the problem that we have seen that Shreyas Iyer getting troubled against pacey bounce deliveries. I think in last 1 year, I think he has worked hard. He has worked hard and he has improved a lot when it comes to tackling those bouncers. I think that has also helped. If you see his last performance in ODIs for India, I think against pacers, I think it has improved. So I think he is working hard. If you see in the last year in all the domestic tournaments also, be it in T20 format, irrespective of any format, be it in Ranji, be it in T20 or be it in Vijay Hazare tournament also, I think he was fantastic. So overall, I think he has changed his approach and he has worked hard and somehow he has managed to settle into it and that has worked for him. Last year also it worked. That is why he managed to score 600 plus runs. That also with an average of I think 50 plus 50 point something, and also the strike rate of, as you mentioned, 175. So when you are scoring in IPL, in a tournament like IPL, you are scoring at an average of 50, and also that runs are coming at a strike rate of 175. I think you are doing many things right, and that is will be the hope for Punjab fans, that their captain continue to lead from the front, and hopefully he can continue, because as we started the show, that he is also looking for a comeback in the T20 setup. And more than Gill, I think Iyer has a best chance because he will make a comeback in the middle order. You can adjust a player like Iyer in the middle order rather than a Gill in the top order, considering the other players that are waiting for their chances. So I think if Iyer managed to continue to lead from the front with the bat in this season also, I think he might get a chance going forward in the T20 as well.
Mohar, we've spoken very technically up until now, but I'm going to ask you, when you think of a Punjab Kings, do you think they can get the title this year? Because this is a very strong team. They've got a strong leader, and he's leading from the front. But if you look at this season, do you think they have the potential with the changes they've made in the auction?
Yes, most definitely. I do think they will. I think they are going to qualify for the playoffs for sure. They are in the top four for sure. And I do think they do have the potential to lift the cup this time, because obviously, even in the previous year, they were the runners up. They went till the finals, but then somehow they faltered out there. But I think with the changes that they've made, and obviously, you have a very able leader in Shreyas Iyer, a lot will also depend on the individual forms. Shreyas Iyer, how Iyer performs, how the openers have to fire, especially. They were excellent last season. Prab Simran Singh and Priyancharya, how they are able to perform. It will depend on the individual forms as well as how they're able to perform as a team. But I think since most of the players have been retained from previous year, they already have that sort of understanding and chemistry within themselves. So I do see them lifting the cup this time. And obviously, Shreyas Iyer is a great captain. So we will hope for that.
Absolutely. One player that we haven't talked about yet, Sai Sudarshan. He scored 700 plus runs last season, and sort of went under the radar. Not many talked about him. Let's just say that he wasn't the one who was getting all the highlights. But obviously, with the web of Suryavanshi and others like that in the IPL, and also all the controversy that keeps happening with KKR, especially this season as well. Ajinkya Rahane, first match already in the headlines. That's not exactly what they would have wanted, but again, that's happened. But with controversies, players like Web of Suryavanshi, international stars, Sai Sudarshan sort of went under the radar last season. this year, Snehashish, how are you looking at his performance? What are you expecting out of him?
See, Shazul is a technically strong batter. I think that is why despite having a strong IPL season, we are still waiting to see him, in the white ball format. But he managed to get a debut in Test format. We saw that. But somehow, the consistency. What we know, when we think about Sai Sudarshan, we always think about consistency. I think Sai Sudarshan is one kind of a player who can score those 40, 50 runs quickly at the top. Yes, maybe not at the strike rate that Vaibhav Suryavanshi might score at 300, 350. That is not possible from him. But at least he can score around 180, 190. That potential he has, and he has shown that last year also. So let's see how he does. But again, as I mentioned earlier, also I think the top order, this the Gill and Sai Sudarshan pair will be very much big factor for GT going forward in this season because as I mentioned, if you see the bowling options they have, the middle order they have, again they are not looking that good or that competitive compared to other teams, especially when it comes to Punjab teams. So I think for them to do well again, these three, Butler, Sai Sudarshan, and Shubman Gill will be key. And obviously last season also I think they did well while chasing mostly. So I think again that will be key also. So let's see how it does. But overall, from Sai Sudarshan, I think the expectation will be the consistency.
Absolutely. Now, Bharat, what is it about the IPL? We did not see that happening in the T20 World Cup. Obviously, I always say that when it comes to the T20 format, more or less the game is decided in the power play. But again, that can be varied depending on surfaces and other factors as well. But what is it about the IPL that tells you that within those 6 overs of the game, you will know who's going to win the match?
I won't say you will. You can tell. You can tell that you will know who will win the match after 6 overs. Yes, power play is very much important in T20 cricket. We have seen a lot of results where you feel that after 6 overs you can understand who is going to win it. For example, yesterday as well in the power play overs, Andre Berger and Jofra Archer used the C movement on offer to their advantage and reduced CSK to 29 for 3 or whatever it is. But still, you can make a comeback after power play overs. We have seen that happening enough times, even in the world of IPL. Even in the first game between RCB and SRH, although SRH went on to lose the game from 47 for 3, they kind of recovered at one point of time. After 13 overs, they were 127 for 3, and it seemed as if they could even get 230. Yes, they collapsed from that position, kind of collapsed and lost that match. So you can still make a comeback. But what happens here is the shorter the format, I think the power play overs become a lot more important just because of the fact that it's a little more difficult to make a comeback if you fall so far behind in the power play overs, or if one of the sides dominate those power play overs. For example, maybe if a batting team gets 90 runs or 100 runs in 6 overs, then it is very difficult for the other team to kind of make a comeback. I think shorter the format, it is tougher to make a comeback if you don't do well in the power play overs.
Absolutely. Okay, lots of comments that have piled up here. Maxert official still going after Shubman Gill. He's saying even Virat Kohli at 38 is better than T20. Is a better T20 batter than 25-year-old Gill. I got it right. Maxert, let's not compare Virat Kohli with anyone at this moment. You can't do that.
You
If
can't
if you
compare
watch,
two generations,
yeah, correct. And Virat's technical brilliance is at a different
obviously.
level. Virat Kohli at 38 will know more about the game and how to switch his gears than a Shubman Gill who's just starting to step up and is under immense pressure from all sides. So it's very difficult and it's unfair, honestly, to compare these two. Okay, Shailesh is saying top four teams: Mumbai Indians, KKR, LSG, and Rajasthan Royals. Rajasthan Royals. KKR. No, actually, it's KKR that's surprising.
LSC as
Yes.
well to some extent because their Indian
True.
pace bowling group, I'm not very
Yeah,
sure about
exactly.
their Indian pace bowling group. Some of
Exactly.
them are always injured. Avesh
Yes.
Khan, Bhain Yadav of the world. and someone else like Mohsin Khan also is usually injured, and then you have, I think, Mohammad Shami is not exactly at the peak of his progress, I believe, at this point of time.
Yeah. The cricket crazy Bong is saying, don't know how many of them will play, but really want to watch India's domestic youngsters. Suryansh Shegde, Mushir Khan, Nishant Sindhu, Manav Suthar, Kumar Kushagra. I will add two more names to that. One is Sahil Parak, and the other is, one second, I'm trying to get his name right. Oh, I have written about him. He's in Delhi Capitals, and because I have been watching their practice sessions very closely, these two are brilliant talents. They're very young, are from the Delhi setup only, I guess, and have been tonking the ball. The perfect modern era T20 cricket that you talk about, the kind of batting that you see from a web of Suryavanshi, is similar to what these two kids are also doing. I think his name is Madhav Tiwari. Yes, Madhav Tiwari and Sahil Parak are the two batters that I will add to this list. Two youngsters I will add to this list. Okay.
Can I
More
just get a
questions?
couple more to that list? Just a couple more.
Yeah, sure.
One is, I think, Ashok Sharma of Gujarat Titans. I don't
Yeah.
know whether he'll get into the playing 11. Tall, fast bowler. Hits the bat hard, hits the bat high on impact. India need fast bowlers, young fast bowlers. So he can come into the picture at some point of time. And this cricketer, I look at him as more of a test cricketer. But who knows, he may play in the IPL at some point of time. That is R. Smaran. If he gets going, especially in first class cricket, he doesn't get out at all. I've already given him a punchline. It's the rock of Nandi Hills. Nandi Hills is some 60 kilometers away from Bangalore. So, especially, it looks like a future test cricketer for Indian team.
I would also say Vignesh Puthur and Cranes Fuletra as well. I'm really excited to see how Cranes Fuletra develops in the Indian setup, because left arm unorthodox, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes.
Left,
There's one more.
yes.
Yes. One more. Shivan Kumar also is there. Both of them are the correct setup.
And I want to see, in this IPL season, what I want to see how the fast bowlers are doing. Because if you look at the T20 setup, apart from Jasprit Bumrah, who is out there, who's really making a huge impact in T20 cricket, it's always Jasprit Bumrah who has to come in and save the day for everyone. So let's see how the next generation of fast bowlers is going to crop up. Maybe a Vaibhav Arora can work on his pace better this time around, work on his line and length, and try to get an entry into the team. Siraj is obviously already back into the white ball setup, so it's going to be interesting. I said these names because they are from today's side. Got it, cricket kid, crazy bong. I think the best way to understand how these guys are doing is to go and watch the practice sessions, matches, because it's very very unlikely that they all will get a chance in the playing 11. Okay, Snehashish bro, who is winning the West Bengal elections?
May the best team wins.
You can't give an answer. Platform.
Unfortunately, that's not the right answer in politics.
What a question.
Okay. Okay, Max Sir is saying Shubman Gill again. YBJ is far better than him in T20s. I think you all might agree. Mohor, your thoughts?
I don't know what else to say to
Also,
this guy. Always.
Yashashvi is better than Abhishek.
I know.
That's
This is the problem with Indian fans. They jump the gun very fast. The next day itself, if Abhishek plays an excellent knock, then suddenly Abhishek Sharma will become the next king. That is the issue.
Oh, I think Abhishek Sharma is a
Whoever
better
is
batter
outside
here.
is better. Yeah, sure.
Abhishek Sharma is a better batter here in T20 cricket, because
Yeah.
not just in power play overs, when he gets going, he can continue to hit a flurry of boundaries even after the power play overs. I think that is the main factor to look at, because a lot of batters hit a lot of boundaries in the power play overs, but very few batters can continue with that kind of form even after the power play overs. I think he's one of them.
Yeah. Snehashish, Ricky Ponting and Shreyas Iyer, that partnership has changed a lot for Punjab Kings. The entire template, the entire setup, and the mindset of the team has changed last season. Do you think something similar could happen with Matthew Hayden and Shubman Gill?
Yes, I think GT fans will hope for that thing, but I think the way Ponting and Swash Iyer has managed to work together. I think in Delhi Capitals, as I mentioned earlier, at 5 in 2020, when Delhi Capitals reached the final, Swash Iyer was the captain, and that time Ricky Ponting was the coach. So I think that time that bond also worked, and that is why I think PBKS showed that trust and brought both of them. Ricky Ponting as a coach and obviously Swash Iyer as a captain, and that worked instantly. As we saw, last year they managed to qualify for the final, played brilliant brand of cricket, I will say. And this year also, I think they will hope for to cross the final line. But I think the communication between them and the clarity of thoughts, I think it has been superb. I think the way both of them managed to clarify the roles for every one of them in that team, in that PBK's team, that has worked for them, and hopefully that can continue this season also. For GT, again, I think to get someone like Matthew Hayden, I think obviously for the batters, I think for someone like George Butler, I think who can be better than someone like Matthew Hayden to have in the dugout and to have a chat with him that what is going wrong, at least from the mindset perspective. Who has played so many big games in his career, winning World Cups and everything. I think Matthew Hayden can be the perfect player, perfect person right now to have a chat with George Butler and to you know to guide him that okay, this thing might not be working for you, let's try this thing or that thing in upcoming 2-3 games. If that starts to work, and then we might see the old Josh Butler. So again, I don't know from the whole team perspective, but I think from the batters perspective, I think all the batters from GT, I think, can get a lot of help from someone like Matthew Hayden. And obviously, why only Josh Butler? I think for someone like Shubman Gill also. Now the comments that we are getting, the immense pressure that he is in already before facing the fast ball in this edition, I think Matthew Hayden's helps will be crucial for him also. So let's see how the tournament pans out for him and for the whole GT team.
And you know what, Snehashish, without revealing too much, I can tell you this much: that Shubman Gill is definitely the kind of player who is listening to what is being said outside,
Yes.
and it has affected him. He has taken some decisions that might have been in his best interest, just to prove a point. And we completely understand where this is coming from. As an athlete, you always want to do your best. As an athlete, you always want to be at the top of your game. But at the same time, sometimes the noise is just too much, and sometimes it is also nonsense. These are people who don't know anything about anything, in the sense
Yep.
that they don't know what you're working on, they don't know your method, they don't know your process, they don't know how you are as an athlete or even as a person, and what conversations you're having with the management and in the dressing room. Yet they will feel entitled to comment on every single thing that you do on the field and off the field. And sometimes it's not easy, not sometimes it's not easy being an cricketer, just for the sheer amount of pressure that comes with it. And for the toss update, it is Punjab Kings who have won the toss and chosen to bowl first. I don't think that comes in as a surprise here. Okay, we have the team update as well. Shreyas Iyer says Cooper Connolly is a new addition to the team. Stoinis,
Yes.
Bartlett, and Marco Jansen. So these are your four foreigners: Cooper Connolly, Marcus Stoinis, Javier Bartlett, and Marco Jansen. Shubman Gill says that the wicket looks pretty good and it has been under covers for a couple of days. So do you think it will be a similar situation as to what happened in the CSK game? Because the pitch was under cover for so long, there was rain around, there was moisture around. Did you see the amount of seam movement that the bowlers were getting yesterday, which was quite unusual for T20 cricket?
Absolutely. I think last day, if you see the Nander Barga spell, I think it was superb. The way he was bowling, strong left arm pace with the angle and the movement that he managed to get, I think that troubled Sanju Samson. He went for for that cross batted, whip to the leg side, and he completely deceived by that ball and that hit of the top of the off stump. I think superb delivery from Nander Barga yesterday, and that opening spell from both the pacers. I think Nander Barga and the other pacer, who was that from? Oh, Archer. Sorry, Archer and Nander Barga. I think both of them were superb with the new ball. If there is some movement of the pitch, I think again what Bharat mentioned earlier in this show, that if the bowlers get some movement at the start, then maybe the template that GT try to play, like with the opening pair of Sai Sudarshan and Shubman Gill. I think that might work bit more rather than opening pair of Prabhsimran Singh and Priyan Shadia, because with those explosive batters on flat deck, you expect explosive start. But when there is something on the pitch, you have to understand the pitch a bit in first 2-3 overs. Then you can set a target and then go for for that target, over by over. So let's see how. But as a fan, as a cricket lover, I will definitely love to see some movement, some help for the bowlers at least at the start of the wicket. Because otherwise, if it is a completely flat deck, there is no help for the bowlers. Again, a high-scoring game, and we might see 250 runs, and then maybe a chase of 250, or maybe a lose by 7 or 10 runs. Flurry of boundaries here and there.
So Snehashish wants rain for 2 days before every game.
Yes, I want rain 2 days before every game. There must be some assistance for the bowlers.
2 days
Okay.
before every game means I think most of the teams
No,
would get bowled out for
for
70 or
2
80.
days. For
70 or 80
2 days.
with so much moisture around modern day batters against movement. 70 or 80 out.
Yeah, it was nice to see a low scoring game yesterday for a change after some time.
Okay. Shubman Gill has also declared his, and we have the playing 11s as well. But for Gujarat Titans, when you talk about the 4 overseas player, it's Glenn Phillips making his debut. Ashok Sharma also making his debut. But yes, the 4 foreigners here are Joss Butler, Glenn Phillips, Rashid Khan, and Kagi Sarabada. Again, nothing out of the ordinary. So Punjab Kings playing 11 is Prabhsimran Singh, Cooper Connolly. These will be the 2 openers. Shreyas Iyer, Nehal Vadera, Shashank Singh, Marcus Stoinis, Marco Jansen, Javier Bartlett, Yuzvendra Chahal, Arshdeep Singh, and Vishak Vijay Kumar. For Gujarat Titans, it's Sai Sudarshan, Shubman Gill, Joss Butler, Washington Sundar, Glenn Phillips, Shah Rukh Khan, Rahul Tewatia, Rashid Khan, Kagiso Rabada, Ashok Sharma, and Mohammad Siraj. So, final predictions, and then we can close the show. Mohor, PBKS or GT?
Once again, it's a bit difficult to predict this game because both the teams did pretty well last season. One of them was the runner-up, the other made it to the playoffs. So I think it won't be a one-sided competition at all. But then, if I have to look at the records at this venue, then PBKS have lost 7 out of the 10 games that they've played here. So I would give an edge to GT. But then again, Gujarat Titans don't really have a strong middle order or someone stepping into the finishing role. They don't even have Sharfin Rutherford this season. So it'll be mostly dependent on the top 3. So I'll be really looking forward to find out how they approach the game. But then still, considering the records that they have at this venue, I think I'll give GT an edge.
Snehashish?
I think on paper, Punjab Kings are much ahead of GT. If you see the balance, if you see the whole unit, I think as a unit they're much ahead, and I think Punjab will be the winners of this game. And especially after winning the toss, they are chasing, and we all know, when you are chasing, you at least one step ahead. After winning the toss, you have managed to to get yourself back at the second position. So I think for me, I think PBK are the favorites, and they should win this game. So let's see how the game pans out.
Yeah, I think my money is also on Punjab Kings tonight. So let's see what happens. We'll be back at the end of the game. Don't forget to join us then. Thank you so much. Stay tuned.